Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about ABTS or TEAC assay for the antioxidant capacity measurement. If you are new to this channel, please press the like button and click on the bell icon to get notified. Clicking on the subscribe button will get you the recent updates into your inbox notifications. TAC assay was first proposed by Miller and Rice-Evans, and it was proposed in the year 1993. And the assay is also called as the TEAC assay. TEAC stands for Trolox Equivalent Antioxidant Capacity. Ray and colleagues in 1999 further improved this method. The improvement was made in the way ABTS free radical cation was generated. So initially it was done by Miller and Rice-Evans, and in the 1999 in the year 1999, Ree and colleagues improved this method by modifying the process by which the ABTS radical cation was generated. In the ABTS radical cation generation initial method, the generation of radical cation was done by reacting metmyoglobin with hydrogen peroxide to produce hydroxyl radical. Whereas in the improved method that is done in 1999, the ABTS radical was generated by treating with ammonium or potassium persulfate in the ratio of 1:0.5. The oxidation of ABTS reaction is a long process and requires 12 to 16 hours of incubation. So this is the schematic representation of the conversion of ABTS to ABTS radical cation. So it has to be incubated for around 12 to 16 hours to generate the ABTS radical cation. Let's see the principle of TEAC assay. The TEAC or the Trolox equivalent antioxidant capacity assay is based on the reaction with colored and relatively persistent ABTS radical cation, and which has a strong absorption band at 734 nanometer. So it has absorption at other wavelengths also, but most of the authors are preferring to use at 734 because of the low interference and turbidity at this wavelength. When the ABTS radical accepts an electron from antioxidant in the sample, the blue-green color fades into pale blue color or the colorless, which shows a regeneration of the ABTS, which is the stable form. So in this assay, what happens is that when the ABTS radical, which is the unstable form, reacts with the antioxidant in the sample, which turns the color to colorless or pale blue color. So that is basically the principle of this assay, and the measurement will be done at 734 nanometer. The antioxidant activity is defined as the amount of ABTS radical quenched after a fixed time, usually 5 minutes. Some people use even 30 minutes. And which is compared with that produced by the Trolox. Trolox is a vitamin E analog. So in this, the antioxidant activity will be defined by the amount of ABTS radical quenched after reacting with the antioxidant, and this will be compared against Trolox. So this is the basic principle. First, ABTS free radical cation is generated by treating with potassium persulfate or ammonium persulfate. The reaction goes on for 12 to 16 hours. Once the free radical is ready, it can be treated with the antioxidant to check the quenching. Let's see the advantages of ABTS assay. This method is rapid and can be used over a wide range of pH values, and which is useful to study the effect of pH on antioxidant mechanism. So this will be helpful. This assay will be helpful to check the the antioxidant capacity at different pH. And the ABTS cation radical is soluble in both organic and aqueous media. Whereas in DPPH radical assay we have seen earlier, which dissolves only in organic medium. So that is a challenge. So in ABTS cation radical can be solubilized in both organic and aqueous media. The ABTC assay can thus be used to screen both lipophilic and hydrophilic samples. The TAC can be used to determine the antioxidant capacity of numerous compounds like carotenoids, phenolic, and plasma compounds. The ABTS assay shows good reproducibility and it is cheap and rapid. Compared to DPPH, the ABTS radical cation is stable for more than 2 days when stored in the dark at ambient temperature. So these are the advantages of ABTS assay, which is very rapid and can be used over a wide range of pH values. And the cation radical is soluble in both organic and aqueous media, unlike the DPPH radical. The ABTS assay can be used to screen both lipophilic and hydrophilic samples. The TAC assay can be used to determine the antioxidant capacity of numerous compounds like carotenoids, phenolic, and plasma compounds. And the ABTS assay shows good reproducibility. And compared to DPPH, it is quite stable. ABTS free radical cation is stable for up to 2 days when stored at the dark and ambient temperature. And good correlation is usually reported with the bioactive compounds like phenols, flavonoids, with the regression factor of greater than 8. So the assay is reproducible and shows good correlation. Even though there are advantages, there are some limitations to this assay. The ABTS assay is often has the limitation because the radical does not exist naturally. So this is not found in the biological system and should be chemically generated. Unlike DPPH, which is readily available commercially, ABTS need to be generated with the reaction with ammonium persulfate or potassium persulfate. So the ABTS radical generation is a slow process as mentioned earlier. It takes around 12 to 16 hours, whereas the DPPH is readily available commercially. Like DPPH, the ABTS radical exhibits high steric hindrance around its nitrogen-centered atom, and thus it does not represent a good model for reactive radicals. Hope you are clear with this topic. If you like the video, please press the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you.